So, in this lesson, log 14, week 7, lesson 33, we did a whole run through and established what order our scenes were in, because before we run, it wasn't quite clear what order the scenes were going in, but we were given a list, and it was a lot easier to perform because now we knew our cues for the next scene and who we were going after for that. So we also decided to time the whole piece just to find out how long it would be, so we would know what to put on our program. So we performed each of our scenes just to get a feel for it again, and also to show our peers how we've improved ourselves. Also began to construct the ending scene and decided on line placement for that, because there is a few lines of dialogue in that scene and we needed to make sure everyone knew what they were going to say. We also decided where each person was going to stand on stage, which sounds simple, but because there's so many of us, we had to sort of put each person between someone so they could all be seen by the audience. We also had to decide what side we would come from, so whatever side we were closest to when we stood on stage, we would have to come off, which we finally did get to in the end. We also had to figure out how to transition from the lines to the music piece, but we were able to do that. We figured that just walking straight into the line would be the best suitable, because it's quick, it's fast, and it means we'll be in time for the music. We decided to say how our line should be delivered. I made sure I put emphasis on mine, just so it sounds more genuine. Also refreshed our memory for the piece, because before we had learnt this quite a while ago and we hadn't gone over it, but now we've gotten a better idea for it, so it's a lot easier to perform. So what worked well and what didn't? The delivery of our lines, for everyone really, set the correct atmosphere. It definitely had an eerie feel, which we did need to create, because this is a play about suicide and depression, and obviously we're not creating in a happy atmosphere. It needs to be depressing and eerie. The departure at the end was clean and tidy, which took us a while, but we got there, and it definitely looks a lot better than it did the first time. The placement of lines, so this didn't work because people were saying too much at one time and then not saying anything at all for a long time, but the director and the assistant director went through the script, and we all took individual parts of the script and started to perform them, and the end product looked really good visually and sound-wise too. Challenges and targets. I need to learn these new lines, obviously, because I kept forgetting them, but I guess these were my first time getting the lines, so that's good. Need to remember the order for the scene, because I kept forgetting when I was supposed to be on stage, which slowed down the timing. It messed up the timing too, because it was quite slow during that, so I need to make sure I do that. Choreography forgotten. Yes, I did forget a lot of the choreography, but as I said, choreography is not my strong point, but I can improve on this. I just need to keep practicing the choreography, and that's what I'm going to do in the future. It's like written here. So for the future lesson, before then even, I need to learn the new lines I've been given and remember the new order, just so everything can be clean and focused. My rank. I gave myself a merit. I felt like I put in enough focus and effort, but I do need to help more in group discussions and continue with the performance. I just find it hard to sometimes participate in those discussions, but it is a skill I need to improve on, because if I don't, it's going to slow down the progression and it won't seem like I'm putting enough effort into the contribution of the whole performance and the construction of the whole performance. But hopefully I will improve upon this.